Hey goodies, Nastassja here, also known as Keto Jamaican Girl. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, on this channel, I share my keto tips, keto tricks, and delicious keto recipes full of flavor. Now, in celebration of my birthday, I've been sharing some of my favorite keto recipes, and this one I'm going to share tonight will not disappoint. It's up there with my favorite. Like, I know I've been saying favorite, but this one is up there like with the top. It's really good. And one of the reasons why I share these recipes and why I do what I do is because I want to make sure that while eating keto, I'm not feeling super restricted, like I'm torturing myself and not enjoying my food. I want to make sure that I'm tasting all of my traditional flavors, but with less carbs. So when I was able to figure out this recipe and still make it taste the way I know it's supposed to taste with the carbs in it, I was so excited. So I'm not missing the carbs, but I'm still getting my traditional flavors. So if you're interested in this recipe, let's go and cook. But before we go and cook, please, if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and click that subscribe button so you can see all of my upcoming videos. And if you're watching this video and you feel like, oh wow, oh that's good, go ahead and click the like button because that helps my channel and it lets me know that you're enjoying the content. So now that we did our housekeeping, let's go and cook because your girl is ready to eat. Let's go. Okay, so for this recipe, you can use chicken tenderloin or chicken breast. I had chicken tenderloin on hand, so that's what I'm going to be using. In order to use a chicken tenderloin, though, I like to remove the tendons from the chicken so that you don't have those chewy pieces while you're trying to enjoy the chicken. So I keep on removing those until I end up with this pile of chicken here, and then I can go on and season my meat. So I'm going to season the chicken and the shrimp very similar, but I'm going to do a little less with the shrimp. And here you see me sprinkling some garam masala. You know, that's my new favorite seasoning. I'm also sprinkling some garlic powder on both. And then to that, I'm going to add some jerk seasoning. This is what you would call a jerk marinade. And I'm using about a tablespoon with each because jerk marinade has a little bit of sugar in it, but it's negligible for me because I'm the only one eating this. I'm sharing this with my family, so I'm only getting a minimal amount. So to that, I'm going to add some all-purpose seasoning. You see I'm adding it to both of them there. And then I use a little bit of olive oil to get the seasonings to get into the meat, to get into the shrimp. So once that marinates, then I'm going to go ahead now and start preparing my shrimp. Now I take the shrimp that has been marinating and I put it in hot oil, and just keep an eye on your shrimp because shrimp cooks really fast, and I'm not cooking it all the way through. I'm just getting a nice little crisp of the seasoning on the outsides, and it will finish cooking once we get to the end of the dish. So here you see they're turning a little pink, so I'm hurry up and turn them over. And once I get them, you see that I don't want to say it's brown, but you can see that it's crisping up on the outside. That's perfect for me because now the seasoning I know is sealed onto the shrimp. And once that's done, I can go ahead and start removing my shrimp from my hot pan. Now you guys know how I feel about changing pans. If you're making a one-pot dish, you don't want to change pans because there is love and goodness in that pot. Say it with me. There is love and goodness in that pot. So I'm going to add my chicken to that same pot, the same pot that we cooked the shrimp. We're going to go ahead now and cook up our chicken tenderloin pieces minus the tendons. And just like with the shrimp, the goal is not to cook the chicken all the way through. It's just to brown it on the outsides, and then it will finish cooking once we get to the final step of our cooking. So here I'm just going to keep my pot on high heat and brown the outsides of our chicken as much as possible to seal in all of that seasoning and flavor and goodness. And while that's happening, I'm going to go ahead now and prepare my veggies. One of the things that marks traditional Rasta pasta is the tri-colored peppers. So I made sure to include that. If you are watching your carbs really close and you want to cut down on the number of peppers you put in there, or just maybe do one type of pepper, fine. But I wanted this to be as close to the original as possible. So I cut up 3 different types, and I'm loving the colors. So now I'm going to prepare my Rasta pasta sauce. I'm starting off with about 2 tablespoons of butter there. And when that melts down, I'm going to go ahead and add my heavy cream. So to that butter, I'm going to add 2 cups of heavy cream. And I'm going to let that thicken up a bit, and then we'll go ahead and start adding our cheese. And you see all of that flavor that I'm catching up there in that pot. This is why I am a firm supporter of not switching your pots. All of that seasoning now is going to come together and form our Rasta pasta sauce. So to that, I added about half a cup of shredded Parmesan cheese. You can add more if you want a thicker sauce, but I am not going to go crazy with the cheese. I just want to get flavor. So when that melts down into our heavy cream and our seasoning, I had some pepper jack cheese on hand, so I wanted to add that for additional flavor to our Rasta pasta sauce. You can add mozzarella if you want, but that's what I had and that's what I wanted to use. So that's about, I wouldn't even say a half a cup of pepper jack cheese. Like I said, if you want to use more, you can, but I'm just going for flavor here. And here you can see that the cheese is melting into the heavy cream and the seasoning, and it's getting thicker. So it's just about ready for us to form our Keto Rasta Pasta dinner. I am so excited. I know you guys can tell. And now I'm going to add my peppers to our Rasta pasta sauce that we have here. And I am adding my peppers at this time because I like to have a good crunch when I have my vegetables in my food. So I don't want it to soften. So I put it into my food coming down to the end of my cooking process. So there, all of the peppers have been added. So to that, I am going to add my chicken. I cut it up after I had finished browning them. I cut them up, and now I'm going to add that to the sauce and incorporate it into the cream and the peppers and all of the seasoning. And that chicken is just going to add another layer of flavor because it has some of the jerk seasoning on it, and all of the things that I marinated the chicken with is all coming together, all of that flavor. Now that the chicken has been incorporated into our sauce, I'm just going to cook that down some more and then go ahead and add our shrimp. And our shrimp has been marinating in seasonings as well, and it was also fried in seasoning. So you see all of that juice coming in there, that's even more flavor. You probably noticed that when I was marinating the chicken and the shrimp, I didn't put any salt because the jerk marinade is quite salty. But this is the time after you have mixed in your shrimp and your chicken and you let it cook down a little bit. This is the time to taste your sauce, taste your meat, taste your shrimp, and make sure that it has all of the flavors you want in it. If you think it needs a little more garlic, add some garlic now. If you think it needs a little more salt, you go ahead and add your salt. But in my family, we're not too fond of salty food, so I didn't overwhelm my dish with any additional salt. So now I'm going to continue to mix this all in together. And you see my vegetables here, they're not wilted down. They still have life in them. That's how I like my veggies. And I'm going to let this cook down just a little bit more until everything is well incorporated. Everything has the same measure of seasoning and juices. And then we can go ahead on and get our pasta ready. So you guys have seen this palmini pasta before. I've purchased it in one of my keto grocery hauls, and I also talked about it in our keto live that we did the other day. This pasta is a great replacement for traditional pasta. The taste is on point. The carbs are low. You see there is 4 grams of carbs per serving. So I absolutely love this pasta. So it was the perfect item to use for our keto Rasta pasta. So what you have to do here is you empty out the pasta and then you rinse it off. So I emptied it there into my strainer, into my sink, and then I rinsed it off. And then after I rinsed it off, I let the water strain off of it as much as possible, and then I added the noodles to a hot pot. So what I'm going to do is season my noodles so that I can flavor each layer of food that I add to this dish. So I'm just adding a little bit of all-purpose seasoning to that, and then I'm going to go ahead and add some of my Rasta pasta sauce and chicken and shrimp to these noodles. If I was having the carbs with my family, I would have added the noodles to the sauce, but since it's going to be, them eating real noodles and me having the palmini noodles, I just made a separate pot for myself, and then I finished cooking my portion of the dinner here in this smaller pot. So if you're going to be making this, you can just add your noodles to your Rasta pasta sauce and all of your goodness. But as you know, I cook these meals for my entire family. So here you're just going to see me adding my portion of the dinner to my palmini noodles. And guys, the smell, the taste, everything is on point. If you have not tried palmini noodles yet, you need to get on it. I don't know how they did it, but it mimics traditional noodles very, very well. So here I'm just going to let everything cook down together. Let the noodles soak up some of my sauce that were made in the other pot. Let the chicken and the shrimp finish cooking down with it. And then we're going to go ahead and plate it. So this is our Keto Rasta Pasta plated. It is so yummy, so good, so creamy. I don't even know if you're catching all of the cream here in this shot, but guys, it's really good. You definitely want to try this one. Thank you for sticking with me, and I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.